guys. As you may or may not know, earlier today, Jamie and Connor and Jordan and I went to see uh, Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice, and I decided to do a little review. Um, so, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with just a general review with general opinion and all that, a non spoilery section, and then when I'm done with that, I'm going to go into more detail in a spoilery section. So I will definitely make clear delineation there so you know when to stop watching if you haven't seen the movie, and if you have seen the movie to go on so we can I can discuss these things that you might already be thinking about. So anyway, let's get started. Alright, so my general thoughts on this film. There has been a lot of naysaying going on with this movie, a lot of critics tearing it down, and I don't get it. I mean, was it and the best comic book movie ever made? No, no, it wasn't. But it was a really good movie. I mean, I this is why I say I would make a terrible movie critic because I'm not critical enough. I admit it. I generally tend to like something if it's not just god awful, and this movie had a lot of great stuff in it. I mean, like any comic book movie, like any movie. I mean, you can find plot holes, you can find, things you don't like about it. There are things I don't like about it, and I'll get into that. But on the whole, in general, I really like it. I recommend it. You should go see it. Um, there's a lot of awesome action bits. I mean, there's some good story there. I really like Batfleck, as people call him. I really like Ben Affleck in the part. He's a good Bruce Wayne. He's a good Batman. I love the design of the character. I love the costume, the kind of Frank Miller Dark Knight Returns look. I like it a lot. And I know a lot of people. One thing that a lot of people are going to hit on, not to be spoilery. This isn't really anything given away. I think you can get this tone from the trailer. But one thing I think a lot of people are going to hit on, and my wife actually mentioned it, is in this movie, Batman is he doesn't seem very much like a good guy. He's very just brutal, and there's reasons for that though. They go into that in the movie. The fact that this isn't day one, Christian Bale becoming Batman. He's been Batman for 20 years, and he's had a lot of bad crap happen on his watch. He's seen a lot of good people go bad. He's faced a lot of ugly, and he's had some bad stuff happen to him, which they do go into in the movie, which I won't spoil here. But and so it's kind of beating him down. You can tell in the way Affleck plays the character. He's very world weary. He's very much past the point of the extreme, never killing. I mean, he's not gonna shoot somebody in the face, but if he's trying to rescue somebody, and in order to do that, he has to blow something up, and one of the bad guys is standing next to the thing that gets blown up, and he dies, he's not gonna lose any sleep over it. That type of guy. So I really kind of like that perspective on the character, that you're looking at this guy with so much history and so much pain and so much that has gone wrong in his life that he's just tired of it, and he just almost can't even deal with it anymore. And that's part of, I think, what drives the whole confrontation, why he goes after Clark so fiercely, and so he's seen so much happen, and he doesn't want any more. He takes no chances these days, and so he thinks that if there's any chance that this can go wrong, that Superman could be a threat to the Earth, he's got to take care of it now. And so that aspect of his character really informs the drive of the movie, and his mission. And then you got Clark on the other hand, who, I mean, he's doing his best. He's trying to be everything for everybody and still find his place in the world and all that stuff. And you know, no matter how many lives he saves, you still got the people in government and the doubters in the public going, okay, well, you know, this guy is so powerful he could be a threat. Which, I mean, that's what Batman sees, and it's a logical step. I mean, it's not that far fetched to think that it could happen. Um, but so he's dealing with that all through the movie, and then you throw in Wonder Woman, who is pretty elusive throughout most of the film, but becomes a big part towards the end. And I love the way they handled her. I think she's playing Gal Gadot. I think Gal is how you pronounce it. Gal Gadot is doing a great job in the part. What little we got to see of her. Um, I know there's gonna be somebody out there going, "Well, she has an accent. Wonder Woman doesn't have an accent." No. Yes, Wonder Woman would have an accent. She's, you know, from an island steeped in Greek history and mythology and all that stuff. She's not gonna sound American. So get over that, guys. But no, I think she actually does a really great part in the movie. I think I'm really looking forward to the Wonder Woman movie just because I really liked what I saw here. And so, in general, like I said, I really, really liked it. I really highly recommend it. Um, like I said, there are some things I don't like, and I'll get into that now. The One of the minor things, it didn't bother me too much on first viewing, because like I say, I'd be a horrible movie critic, because first viewing, I like to just sit back and absorb it all. And you know, on a second viewing, I might notice some things that bug me, but I don't really do that first time around. I just enjoy myself. But one thing that just minorly seemed, you know, to irritate a little bit was just they did cram a lot in, and so sometimes things did feel rushed, and so there was a little bit of that, but not so much that it ruined the movie. It just at times felt rushed. But and then there there's an awful lot of dream sequences in this movie, like a lot, like more than you would expect to see in a movie. I like a couple here and there to explain some things. That's fine, but I mean, there were a lot in this movie, and again, not so much that it ruins it for me, but just enough that I notice and go, "Wow, guys, that's a lot. Maybe dial it back." But the big thing, the main thing that bugged me, and this is just personal taste, personal preference, um, but Lex Luthor. Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor, and I don't have a problem with Jesse Eisenberg. I really don't. I like him. He's a good actor. He's been good in a lot of things, but he did not work in this part for me. And the reason is he's too crazy. I mean, Lex Luthor is crazy. He's a mad genius, you know, but Lex Luthor is subtle crazy. He's quiet crazy. He's charming to your face. You would never suspect that in his private life he's out of his mind. This Lex Luthor is just bat crap crazy 24/7, doesn't hide it, and he's wacky. He's less Lex Luthor than he is the Joker. And we already have a Joker, so we don't need Lex Luthor to be the Joker. And it just rubbed me the wrong way, like really bad. It was annoying. It was to the point of being annoying. The way he would deliver these lines, it was nothing like Lex Luthor, and even if I wasn't looking at it from that perspective, the character still would have been annoying. So yeah, I heartily dislike their take on Lex Luthor in this film. And I'm not spoiling anything here. We all know from the trailers that Doomsday is in the movie. Not listing this as a thing I dislike. I was okay with his inclusion in the movie, but that was one of the things that kind of made the movie feel a little heavy, a little bloated, and rushed, because it seemed like they were just trying so hard to cram Doomsday into the movie that they just came up with a origin scenario that would work within this universe. It had nothing to do with actual Doomsday, but like I say, I'm pretty much okay with it. It made for a pretty cool last sequence, but like I say, it's when you watch it, it's gonna feel a little rushed because of that. So that pretty much wraps it up for the non-spoilery part. So now I'm going to move into more detailed stuff, a lot more nerdy things, references, and Easter eggs and things like that I really, really want to talk about. But they're going to be spoilery things. So if you have not seen the movie and you don't want it ruined for you, stop right here. I'm going to give you a few seconds to. Okay, ready, moving on. There are a lot of things in here to talk about. If you have seen the movie, we can discuss this here. One of the big things for me, I was really surprised and kind of let down by how little Aquaman there was. Because, I mean, when they start talking about the other Justice League members, or people that will be, the other metahumans that Lex Luthor has been monitoring, and now through those files, Batman and Wonder Woman find out about, I was expecting more, because when they first started releasing anything about this movie, one of the big things was this image of Aquaman, fully in costume, looking like a BA, and so you figure he's going to be fairly present in the movie, and in fact, it's no more than 20 seconds on camera, and that really surprised me. I thought he was going to be a bigger deal, and in that same vein, there's this great scene. At least to me, I think it's great because it's setting things up, and I can kind of see what they're thinking. I can kind of see where they're going. The scene where Bruce is at home in the Batcave. I think it's in the Batcave. It might just be in his office or something. I'm not sure. And Barry Allen, the Flash, appears to him like through this like time vortexy thing and trying to warn him, and he says something about, oh, he's too early, he's in the wrong time period, something like that. And and I've like before I even went to the movie, I kind of had that spoiled for me because I read something somebody who had seen it wrote about how they hated his costume and how he looked like Iron Man. And I'm here to dispel that for you, because yes, the thing he was wearing did look kind of stupid, but that's not the Flash costume. I've seen the Flash costume in pictures of Zack Snyder's workshop from filming other stuff and working on other stuff, and that's not the Flash's costume. It must be some kind of apparatus he wears to facilitate time travel or something like that. I don't know, but that's not the Flash costume. So if you see it and you saw it and you go, ooh, that was stupid, don't worry. Although, I will go on record as saying I'm still not really excited about the Flash, because I really, really don't like their casting choice. I wasn't expecting them to drag over Grant Gustin from the TV series. I knew that wouldn't happen, but I just don't think Ezra Miller fits the part. And I just don't think he fits the part. I mean, granted, I haven't seen everything Ezra Miller has done, so he might surprise me. He might do the character all right, but just a little bit that they showed in that scene was okay, but the stuff that they showed of like the surveillance footage that Lex had, to me, he sticks out in how much he doesn't fit the character. But we'll see. I generally tend to give most everything a chance, so I'm gonna give him a chance, but I just don't think it's gonna work. I don't think he fits. The stuff with Cyborg I thought was pretty cool. I think that that they're doing good there. I think they're doing that character justice just from the little bit that they showed. So I'm excited about that. And yeah, so there's those little DC Easter eggy things. And I don't know if any of you have caught it, but in both these movies, in Man of Steel um, and Batman vs Superman, there's this character that hangs out with the one military general who then in Man of Steel or in Batman vs Superman is like Secretary of Defense or something by that point. There's this female officer that always is with him, whose name is Carrie Ferris, which, if you're a DC fan, you know is probably an allusion to Carol Ferris. So she might wind up being a character in Green Lantern Corps, which is coming up here in a few years. And I even saw a thing on Facebook the other day about how the actress is definitely open to coming back for the part. So there's another little connection link up there. And yeah, there's definitely some Easter eggy type things looking forward towards Suicide Squad, which if you guys have heard me talk about it, I'm not overly excited about that, but still, it's expanded universe connecty things. And so, I mean, there was the bit from the trailers and obviously in the movie where you see in the Batcave Robin's costume under glass with the graffiti from the Joker on the chest saying haha jokes or haha Batman jokes on you, alluding to, I believe, if they're not changing too much from the comics, the Joker killing the Jason Todd Robin. Which we all know that Ben Affleck is working on writing and directing a Batman solo movie sometime in the future. So maybe they'll get into that, since it was such a in-your-face type of reference. Maybe they'll do a Red Hood type of thing. I don't know. But this stuff is kind of exciting to think about. Also, if you notice that in that old photo of Wonder Woman from 1915, that's alluding to stuff that they've already shot for the Wonder Woman movie. You might have noticed Chris Pine standing on her right. That would be him playing Steve Trevor. Apparently the whole movie is going to take place in World War I, which is kind of cool. I like that it's going to be a superhero period piece. I think that's really cool. And then they didn't really get much into anybody else from the Justice League. They went over Aquaman, Flash, and Cyborg, and then obviously Wonder Woman. But they're definitely alluding to, with that scene with the Flash, some possible future thing, maybe an alternate timeline, because I personally think, this is just personal theory, but I think that moment where Barry comes back and talks to Bruce there is what triggered, they made some kind of connection with Bruce, and that's what triggered him having these visions, especially the big desert scene, because if you notice, which I'm sure many of you did, that big symbol burned into the ground out in the desert is the Omega symbol, which is Darkseid's personal calling card and symbol. And those big flying things running around grabbing soldiers and punching Batman in the back of the head, knocking him out, those were parademons from Apocalypse. So they're definitely leading us up to something there. Definitely telling us Darkseid's going to be a part of this universe, so that's exciting. Oh, and oh my god, the thing I can't believe I almost forgot I wanted to talk about, the ending. I probably should have, just because they introduced Doomsday, but I totally did not see that coming. I feel dumb that I didn't, but going into the movie, I did not see Death of Superman being in this movie. I totally didn't. I figured they were just going to team up and whomp up on Doomsday and shoot him out into space or something, and that was going to be it, and they were all going to like shake hands and go home and start planning the Justice League. I did not see the Death of Superman being included in this. I mean, call me dumb if you want to, but I did not think that they were going there with this. I didn't predict that. So I wanted to talk about that. Holy crap. I mean, I don't know. Honestly, at this point, it's only been a few hours. I don't know how I feel about that being the ending. Like, it is kind of an awesome thing. It's kind of a bad thing. But, I mean, it just kind of took me off guard. I did not think that they were going to do that. But, yeah, so, wow. So, yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about, I think. Got to meet some cool fanboys standing in line waiting for the movie. It wasn't overly packed because we went to the very first showing of the day at 11:30 a.m., but it was still pretty busy even for then. And from what I hear, it's already dragging in whole bunches of cash. So even if the critics hated it, even if some of the fanboys hated it, it's definitely making some money. And so I don't think, as many of the critics have said, this is going to kill the DC Expanded Universe. I think it's going to go on just fine. But I will say this as one of my final notes here. As much as I really did like this movie, and as much as I am excited for some of the stuff they've got coming down the pipe, I still think it's never going to catch up to Marvel. I don't think no matter what DC does, I don't think that they're going to catch up. I don't think they're going to be able to make as quality movies, because, like I say, I like this movie a lot, but I think it doesn't really show the kind of strong, solid showing that most of the Marvel movies have. And another little piece of that for me was, I walked out of this movie, flying high, super excited, wanting to talk about it with everybody, as I do, as the fanboy I am. But I was walking out of the theater with these in my hand, these awesome Civil War collector's cups that they have at my theater right now. And I was sitting there going, oh, that movie was really good. I really liked it. And I'm looking down at my hand, I'm going, but this is going to be better. It's not even a feeling that I can't shake. It's a dead certainty. I am absolutely positive that Civil War is going to be leaps and bounds better. Again, I'm very positive on Batman vs. Superman. I really liked it, but I know that I'm going to like Civil War more, and I know that I'm going to continue to love everything that the Marvel Cinematic Universe is doing more than what DC is doing. So those are my final thoughts. Hope you guys enjoyed this review. If you have some thoughts, you've seen it, even you watched the second portion of this video, please don't leave any spoilery comments in the links below, or in the comments below. But please feel free to talk about it in a non-spoilery way. I suppose if you only watch the first half of this, there's nothing really to talk about, is there? But anyway, if you like this video, share, subscribe, like button. I love that button. And thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you thought, and I'll see you next time.